you can
Solid.
sing hymns. Now you can rock hymns.
Rock away, what? Oh, yeah. Yeah. The dude in the Discord shirt. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
All right.
I think we're good, man. Hopefully there's no errors. How's it going, folks, ladies and gents,
Good evening.
women and men, children of all ages?
He, she, they, everybody.
Yes, gender of all types. Welcome. We have arrived. Appreciate your patience too. It seems like I'm always running into something, man. It's just never a smooth launch every time, and so I appreciate you guys' patience on that. As you know, I'm still trying to I guess conform to running this thing solo and all these things. It's a lot of work, so I appreciate you guys' patience and bearing with me through all this agonizing delay.
You're welcome.
So yeah, man, we are here, and also let us know if there's something going on with the audio or the video feed so that I can address it. Because yeah, a couple episodes back I recorded like the first half hour on mute, so now I'm like triple checking that. I was like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. Sucks for the Spotify and Apple people,
Right?
because at least at least the deaf people can read my lips if they watch the podcast, right?
Right? Everybody else is fine.
But yeah, welcome back, anybody who's here and anybody who's going to be watching this in the future. We got Snakes, Jake Lloyd back here. You were back, welcome back, by the way. You were here on, what episode was that, man? It's been a minute, dude.
I want to say it was in the teens.
In the teens, man.
Yeah.
We were still babies back then.
Right? Yeah, we were figuring stuff out, definitely, and the three of us jam-packed in here is a little different.
Yeah, it's definitely a little more, there's a lot more room here, huh?
Yeah, you guys are leveled up.
Right. Got a little shoulder room, elbow room.
Exactly.
Can fit everybody in the frame nice.
Right.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to have you back. We usually have some good conversations about things, so yeah, I'm excited to hear what's been going on in the meantime since you were last here. Of course, I see you all the time, but
Practice.
for the viewers and stuff. In case you guys don't know, me and him are in a band together. We've been in a band over 5 years now, I think.
Coming on 6, yeah. Next month will be 6 years.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's crazy to think, but
Yeah.
And then I think of like bands that have been bands for like 15, 20 years. It's like, wow, dude. It's like a good chapter of their life.
It's crazy too. And I mean, a lot of people think it's funny, but I'm still over here after 6 years like, we'll make it, just wait. We'll just wait, I promise. It's the one.
Yeah. And since we'll get into that actually, because you just brought something to my attention that me and Sean were talking about yesterday as far as the band goes. I don't want to lose it.
Yeah, don't lose it.
Is this it? Yeah, this is it.
Write that shit down.
And I'm already gonna tell you something funny about my rant. It's relative to what I'm doing right now. It's hilarious. Okay, so what I was gonna say was this irritates me by myself. I'm just gonna skip around for a second and then I'll come back to you and kind of introduce you a little bit more formally and stuff and kind of get an update on your life. Right. But dude, I don't know if you're like this or not, but like, you ever seen that movie Memento?
I don't think I have.
God damn it, who is the guy? Is it Guy Pearce? I feel like it's Guy Pearce. Correct me if I'm wrong. Memento, it's basically where this guy loses his memory every so often, 10 minutes every hour. Damn. And he'll, wherever he's at, whatever he's doing, it's like starting brand new. And he'll just a snap of a finger and he's like, okay, where am I? What's going on? And he's assessing shit like every time, and he's got to figure out what's going on, and crazy shit's happening sometimes right when it's exactly. That's like
nuts.
It's crazy. Well, I shit you not. I think of that movie every time like that. If I have an idea, I'm like scrambling, fucking. I'm like,
write it down. It's gonna disappear.
It's gonna go. There's literally scenes like that in the movie where he's like that. And he's like doing that, and then he loses it, and he's like,
where am I?
And then because what he does is write notes on these pictures, and he takes pictures all over the place.
Yeah.
That way, when he does snap to, he starts reading it and getting a refreshment, especially people that are like with him, like, hey buddy, you all right? And he's like, he has no idea who they are, and he's like, he'll be reading a picture, it's like His name's Teddy. Don't believe his lies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just, dude, you need to watch that movie, dude. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
You know what streaming service I can find it on?
I don't, because I haven't watched it in like 10, 15 years.
If you in the comments know, let me know. I'd like
yeah, man. It's worth renting even. It's that good, but one of my favorite movies, man. But I thought I'd tell you that because I'm sitting there scrambling to get this down because I swear to God, I'm like that, man. I'll be like, if I don't get this out of my mind, it's going to be harder for me to sit there and be like, what was that again? Yeah. I've lost good ideas that way too, man. Like seriously good ideas as far as like invention type ideas. I'm like, that's a fucking fantastic idea. And then it's gone, and I was like, wow, to the point to where I know 100% like it's $1 million idea, and I'm like, I fucking seriously just let that go.
I like pops up, goes away.
And so yeah, you'll see me with pads, that recorder all the time, man. So that
makes sense. Yeah, recording. I mean, while I'm driving to work all the time, I'll drive for an hour at a time sometimes, and I'll just think, oh man, this would be a good idea, and then I get farther and farther into it until eventually I don't even remember what I started thinking about.
Don't you hate that?
It's just gone. And I wish I could have just wrote something down real quick.
And you know it was good. That's the hard part about it. You're like, damn it, that was good. Why didn't I fucking write it down? You think that it's so good you won't forget it.
Right? No matter how good it is, you'll forget it.
Exactly.
You got other shit going on in your life.
I thought that was pretty funny though, man. So yeah, dude, let's touch base with you. Like how's your mental health?
Well, to be honest, in some ways it's great.
Nice.
In general, it's great. My family's good. My daughter's healthy. She's 10 months old now.
Cool, man.
She's walking, borderline talking. I mean, she makes a lot of different noises. She started making G sounds the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and she says dad, dad, mama, all this other stuff, and it's just crazy watching her grow up. So that whole aspect is fantastic.
Nice.
However, work has been a little bit crazy, and then shows, man. I miss going to shows. I miss playing shows. I miss walking into stores without a fucking mask on.
I know, man. We can go on and on about this shit too, dude. I think we are really tired of this.
And in a way, it is sort of eating at my mental health because I feel anxious at times, because even in the regular year for us, even if it's going to be a month until we play a show, a couple weeks in you start feeling like, man, I just kind of want to be here already.
Yeah. I feel
like that's what's happening now, except for I don't know when the next one is.
I know. The not knowing always fucks with people, man.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to being comfortable. You like to know what's going on and know what's going to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen. It freaks me out. And a lot of big bands that I listen to, and John from Abiotic with his podcast, he talks about how maybe it's going to be a certain amount of bands that kind of go out when things start changing to see how it is, to sort of test the waters. I don't give a fuck. I'll do that, like hands down. As soon as we're allowed to play shows, I'm ready. I don't care what it takes. I'm down to do it. Except for a mandatory vaccine. Not doing that. Sorry, that's just me.
Hey, I respect that, man. I'm also on board with that. We can go on and on about that too. I've talked about the vaccine, so
there's quite a bit we can get into with that, but
yeah, we'll see if it goes down that path. It might not, but I definitely would like to talk about the band stuff a little bit more, dude, because we don't really talk about music and band stuff that much on here. Primarily, it's a lot about current events, self-improvement, and any
just daily life, really, it seems like.
Yeah, it is that. And so I mean, I enjoy that. All those topics are great. So but I think a lot of the demographic and viewers probably aren't into, not many people. The metal genre is not a very popular one,
right? And
so I'm one of the type of people not to sit here and dump that on people that aren't interested.
Yeah.
So you won't hear me talk about that much, even though it is very much a big part of my life.
Right. Right.
And I make it a part of my life, and even on top of parenting and all that stuff. So and the business, I make sure it's mandatory. But you're right, man. It's a mental health thing. That was a joke, by the way. I don't know if you've seen the last episode. I was kind of poking fun at people that are always worried, like they lead with that statement, like I'm working on my mental health type stuff. And I made a whole.
I think I do remember hearing something like that.
Okay, yeah. I was basically, long story short, I was just talking about how people. It's irritating to me because like if you're waiting for your mental health to be in a good place before you actually do anything, you're never going to do anything.
Yeah, the problem is waiting for your mental health to get better.
Yeah, you're not going to do anything.
That's like waiting to get better at something.
Yeah, your mental health is part of the going through the motions is part of your mental health growth. Like you are establishing a mental health as you go through it. So being in a fucking in just a stasis like that where you can't do anything and you're shackled because your mental health, you're gonna be there forever.
Exactly, and a lot of people are, unfortunately, a lot of really smart, intelligent, charismatic people are dull and not intelligent when they could be out there learning and growing, doing things, but they're stricken by all this mental health stuff that they just kind of get swirled into and just keep spinning around. When really, I think that anybody has the ability to overcome stuff like that. I'm not saying it's easy by any means. For some people, it's probably worse than I could ever imagine, but really, if you can lean on the people around you, or if you don't have people around you, I still think that everybody has it in them to be better and to be happy.
Absolutely.
So it's a choice, definitely. You can't just sit and if you're overweight and you're worried about losing weight, you can't just sit and say, "Man, I wish I was skinny." You have to go walk. You have to run. You have to stop eating certain things.
It's going to be a long journey. Exactly. It's a long, hard road of work, and most people always know that too in the back of their mind. They know what it takes.
Yeah,
they know what it takes.
No one wants to do it.
Exactly. No one wants to really put himself through suffering to get to the other side.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very interesting topic. Me, I always like talking about like anything self-improvement related.
Yeah, and it's important to have it a central focus of your dialogue, because if you talk about it more, you think about it more, and therefore you're more willing to have it a part of your life.
Exactly, dude. That's exactly why you hear me talking about it all the time, because it's not just a belief in an idea, it's a way of life for me, and it's very much a part of my life, and it's something that I focus on every day. So, I love that shit, man. Well, I'm glad to hear your daughter's doing good. How's the wife? How's the married life, dude?
Yeah, dude.
You've been married since we...
put on it.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy. Yeah, last time I was getting married soon. And now I've been married for a couple months. I'm done. I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I'm just kidding. It's awesome, man. Brace my best
all
friend.
you chicks, just stop right now.
Yeah.
Stop blowing them up. This isn't an Axe commercial anymore.
Yeah, exactly. No, man. I love my wife. She's awesome. And
that's awesome, dude.
She's always in full support of music and stuff. Like even last night, she was really tired, and my daughter's super picky, and it's partially my fault because I haven't really pushed through enough times, but she doesn't want to fall asleep with me as much because she wants to have mom put her to sleep. And last night she was asking me if I would help her, and I had just started writing those lyrics and stuff, and I was just like, "Babe, I'm so sorry, but can I please go write for a little bit?" And I went in the bedroom, and I feel like a jerk now that I think about it, but I was in there for an hour and a half writing that shit till about midnight.
Really?
So by the time I came out, she was passed out with the kiddo on the chair, and man, I didn't really help, but
nice.
I really appreciated the fact that she was able to put her own feelings aside for mine, and I didn't expect that of her, but she just does that for me all the time.
That's cool, man.
When it comes to music and passions, because she understands how important it is to me.
That's cool, man. It's important to have a support system, dude, like that.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me, and I hope to God, and when I get married, that's what I'm looking for, man. I need someone who's gonna support me in what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No matter what it is, and it's not like I'm out here doing crazy shit, and she understands that, and I'm sure whoever your future wife is will understand that too, that you're about things that are good and that are going to push you to be better. So
it's not self-damaging. Yeah,
exactly. You're not trying to figure out how to eat the most hot dogs in the world or something like some people do that, and
those
that's their passion,
crazy, dude.
Go for it. But yeah,
that makes me want to vomit
good
when
luck.
I see those, dude. Oh my God, they're just just inhaling a whole hot dog. Is like, Jesus Christ.
There's nothing about that helping. If you win a bunch of money, maybe you can have surgery to get better, but I don't know.
That's awesome. Hey, what's up, Galaxy Wolf? Welcome, dude.
Galaxy Wolf
or girl. Don't know your gender. Or
how about friend?
How about friend, dude?
What's up, friend?
What's up, friend? Welcome here. I appreciate the comments on the setup too, man. We're definitely still a fresh podcast. This is episode 51, and so keep coming back. We like talking about things, self-improvement, band stuff, life, all kinds of shit, current events, and we're pretty real, man. There's no I really pride myself on just not beating around the bush.
Yeah.
and just talking about hard things on this podcast. And, all of it's good stuff to talk about, man.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Shoot us some comments, ask some questions, whatever. It can be about anything. We're pretty open, so.
I was going to ask you, I totally forgot to ask you pre-start of the podcast, but I was going to say if you wanted to read those lyrics that you brought up earlier. I don't know how you feel about that, but...
I could. I didn't necessarily think about it.
I didn't think you planned on it.
It's a lot, but I don't know. I mean, if you think they want to hear it.
I think it's very interesting, man. I enjoyed hearing it, and I'd be interested to know what someone else might get from it and what they're, if they, I mean, I think it's great, man. So
yeah.
I don't think it's anything that really keep to yourself. I think it'd be cool. Like I said, this is we're talking about music and it's part of music, man. And you're definitely, that's what you are. You're a vocalist, so.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, writing lyrics is a very, very tough thing. So, and of course, it's one of those things where you're very self-conscious about it. So
yeah,
I write it and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, the nice thing about that is, it's a rough draft, dude. And so for a rough draft, that's pretty damn good. It's a great starting point. I was going to ask you though, you guys all geared up for Christmas?
Yeah, we got our tree up.
You got your presents already and everything?
Yeah, dude.
Damn, I'm jealous. I'm still like lingering, trickling in a few here and there.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We're not doing anything right. We, me and Ray bought each other probably like 4 or 5 presents weeks ago, and we already opened them and gave them to each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, I was just going to do a piece on fucking instant gratification.
Yeah, I could be the center of focus for that one because I have one gift that I haven't given her yet, but I gave her everything in her stocking so far and just smaller things. I got her like a couple new hairbrushes and a pair of sweats and stuff, but she literally like bought me these shoes.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, these are really nice.
I like the color.
They're Crimson Vans Pros. I don't really know a whole lot about them, but they're super comfy and they have like an extra cushion on the sole for impact. Nice. So when I jump off of something that's way too big, it won't hurt too bad.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, I only buy shoes with foam or whatever, memory foam in them. The older you get, I started doing that. I'm like, I will not buy a shoe without extra padding in it.
Yeah, dude. You don't want to walk around
even
all
my
day,
dress shoes, you'll notice. They'll also have that, dude. Like, I just can't do it, man.
You gotta be comfy, man. Life is tough enough. You don't want to walk through it in shitty shoes.
Exactly. Hey, you walk on them all the time. Like think about all the miles you put on. I mean, me and Malia wear those Fitbits, and just in a day when we wear them all day, it tracks your footsteps, and we took 10,000 steps in a day.
That is nuts.
So add that up.
Can you imagine being like a male person or something like that, going out to live?
Oh yeah,
just like a couple freaking thousand steps more than, I don't know.
It is crazy, man, when you put it in perspective like that. So yeah. Body preservation, I'm big on that now as I get older, for sure.
Right. I need to work on that.
Let's so yeah, you kind of already talked about the music scene currently, and my thoughts on that too, man, is I'm super anxious. Like, I just want to play obviously it's kind of where musicians always want to end up, is on stage playing for people. That's the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
To really me, it's a better feeling than actually writing an album and putting it out, almost, for me. The live energy.
I'd have to agree. It's a different kind of satisfaction, with the album, you have more of the pride of like, you know that your work will be there in history forever.
Yeah.
It's online, it's physical copies, whatever. With the show, it's like, it's a lot more, it's a half hour of your life that you'll never get to live again, but it's just beyond all experiences as far as all the euphoria you experience in that time.
Yeah, man.
Jam-packed in that half hour.
Yep.
Lights,
energy,
sweat, energy.
You're there to make an impression, try to draw emotion out. Mm-hmm. And so when you get those emotions, it's really rewarding for musicians. And that's what a lot of us musicians are missing. You know what I mean? That's a lot of our validation, and helps the momentum to keep going. And that's probably why a lot of musicians are probably getting depressed right now. I mean,
struggling.
Not only everybody, but I wonder what a good portion of the actual musician, the music community, is actually suffering. It's probably a good portion of it because, dude, that is a huge outlet for people. It is for me.
And you got to think too about the big names in the industry. I mean, some guys, Dying Fetus, Cannibal Corpse, shit like that, they're probably going to be okay because of their reputation, because of the money they've already made in the past.
Yeah.
However, people like us that are trying to get to that level, we still live normal lives. You still run a business. I still go to work 5 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, these other guys, that is all they have.
Yeah.
It's these guys that are not quite the top dogs, but are just below. A lot of the bands that we're really into that aren't quite the big names.
Yeah.
They're getting screwed right now because their entire lives were built around this. And, you know, like, what are they going to do? Think about roadies, people, venue owners, you know, like drivers and stuff. I mean, that's why podcasts are becoming so popular.
Yeah.
And live streaming videos. Black Dahlia has a live stream thing coming up on the 18th.
A lot of musicians are turning to the podcast and live streams. Yeah.
Yep. You have to do something. And I don't know, in a lot of ways, this virus has actually made some cool shit happen. Like, these musicians that we love so much have time now to do these other things. And so we're actually able to be a little more personal and get to know them more.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, rather than just knowing them for their work.
Yeah, like when you dropped a comment to Cheney Crab and I forgot the other guy's name.
Naveen Copperweiss.
Yeah, when you dropped a comment on their podcast, that was pretty cool. I don't know how frequently they do the podcast, or
I think they do it every Wednesday.
I don't know if they did it the same frequency pre-COVID or not, but that's pretty cool. And I think had they not been, you know, if shows were still going on, they might not have had the time to do that at that time. They might not even been able to put the amount of energy they did into the response that they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The musicians are able to give a little bit more of their personal self, which, you know, it sucks we're not playing live music, but that's when you're looking for golden nuggets and positive things of this situation, that's one of them. Yeah. You're right.
Exactly. And
because that was cool.
And as a fan too, I love hearing these stories about these musicians that I look up to. And it makes it easier for me to not idolize them in the sense of think, oh my God, that's so-and-so, he does this, and I'm such a huge fan, you know, and you put this ideal in your head that, you know, they don't make mistakes, they're perfect, they're amazing, all these things. You don't think about the fact that they shit and eat like everybody else, you know, they're just people. And
it's a sense of humility. And the more you can humiliate yourself, the more respected you actually are going to be, because you're being way more authentic and you're just letting people know that, like, I'm human. I'm just as weak as the next person. Like, I have fucked up thoughts. I have douchey moments.
Yeah.
I have,
failures,
you know what I mean?
Everything. Yeah, exactly.
I'm all this, and you know what I mean? It's hard. Sometimes we forget when we see people that are real successful. We forget about those things sometimes. We just maybe have them in this box where it's like, wow, they're so, you know what I mean?
You form an idea, and I realize this in so many ways. When you think of something for the first time, you form an idea. For example, when I find out I'm going to, say, someone's house, I immediately think in my head of this idea of what it's going to look like. Somehow I come up with this idea of what this person's living area is going to look like based on them.
You
and
start
then you
making
get there,
some guesses and stuff.
it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. When you think about these people that are on this different level, you think of them so differently when really there's no fucking difference between them and us. The only fact is they were able to make something work for them that we haven't quite figured out yet, or that we haven't been able to bring to fruition yet, really. Because I don't think that we're doing anything wrong with the band per se. We just haven't been able to lock down the right members to stay consistent long enough to pump out some more material.
Yeah, no, we're doing the best with what we got and shifting the right way we need to. It'll happen. Good things come to, you know, people who work hard and who persist, you know what I mean? And people who are on the, you know, just improvement path draws in people who want that too. You know what I mean? You'll start bringing in the type of people that you're wanting to be, basically, and that you're trying to be. But
exactly, yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm actually going to make a commitment. And next to a podcast, I'm going to talk about this a little more about how I'm going to commit to deliberately humiliating myself more. I don't want to just post things of successful things of me, and I'm very guilty of that, where I'll just what's up, Colt?
Oh, shit.
A long time no see, buddy.
Mr. Colt, fun fact, original guitar player of Primordial Atrocity.
There we go. Yeah, original OG Primordial guitar player. Welcome, man.
We got Diesel Harris in this too. What's up, Diesel? Used to work with my wife, and then he worked with me. Solid dude.
Nice,
Seen him a long time.
Did you see someone on there?
It's on Facebook that I have it.
Oh,
Diesel Harris as well.
let me check something really quick because now I'm worried that I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anybody's. Come on. Here we go. The virus
with us.
Yeah, un momento. I want to make sure I'm not missing feed comments in this. It should have consolidated all of. Did you see?
Oh well.
Yeah, see, that's weird that you're getting that.
Huh.
How are you seeing that? This is the only Facebook post I see.
Yeah, I don't know. It popped up on my thing for a second.
Oh, is it on your page though?
No, it's on the stream.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, keep responding to that. Something's not right though.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that because I should be seeing all those comments.
Yeah.
What's his name? Who's that?
Diesel Harris.
Can I see that for a sec?
Yeah.
Bear with us, folks. Oh, he's watching.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
it won't say that. He's in there.
Okay.
Okay. You had me worried there for a sec.
Sorry, guys.
I thought he commented.
No.
Okay.
It just said that he's watching.
What's up, Diesel?
Yeah.
What's up, people? Anybody who's watching, welcome here. I appreciate you guys joining us. So everything's fine. Just double checking.
Yes. Don't panic. We're good.
Everything's fine.
We're not freaking out. You're not freaking out. We're good.
But back to the music scene, man. What do you think is, like, if you had to guess, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, what is to come with this? You know what I mean? Like, that's the question, obviously. But if we were to sit here and guess, when is these magical shows gonna start again? And what do you think it's gonna look like? You think the first show's gonna be a big turnout, small turnout? You think they're just gonna hit the ground running and do venues open everywhere, or what do you think is gonna happen?
Honestly,
Excuse me.
based on my own feelings about the subject, as soon as they say, hey, you guys can go play, I'm gone. You know what I mean? I'm fucking out the door. Let's go do it. Let's set up a gig. You know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of people like that. And I think, I don't know, it's hard to tell because I've tried to judge just by what I've seen online. You know, a lot of metalheads are being very serious about this and want to be very careful, and they're making sure to wear their mask, and, you know, they're not going to fucking take a chance. And I get and respect that.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people like myself that are not so worried about it, maybe not so sure that it is what it's all chopped up to be, and are just waiting for them to say, oh, everything's good now. Let's think about it. That's how our government works. One day it'll be like, oh, check it out, we got a vaccine, everybody take it, we're good to go, back to normal life. You know, or it could be the opposite. It could be, oh, we're just gonna live like this forever. You know?
Yeah.
Personally, that scares the shit out of me. I don't want to live in this world where everybody's so paranoid and on edge, and people following each other, filming each other. Like, you're not wearing a mask, or
Oh,
you know.
God, the fear is definitely at an all-time high right now, man.
Fear is a massive motivator.
It's really frustrating for people like me, and it sounds like you too. When I see all this happening, it's like, you guys, you are fucking just letting this get in your head, dude.
Yeah. The type of people that hear something and automatically take it for the truth, you can't do that no matter who it's from, you know?
Exactly.
You have to always be willing to consider the possibility that there's something else that could be true or that could be correct.
Well, more importantly, if someone is trying to instill fear out of their message, definitely don't take it at face value. Like, you should not react out of fear so quickly. You need to fucking do an analysis on the situation.
Analyze the situation first.
Yes. And so a lot of people just don't think for themselves, I feel like, nowadays, and they're willing to take some kind of information because they have no fucking direction, I think.
Well, if you think about it, technology has gone for the last, I'd say, probably 50 years, has gone in the direction of comfort and what's the other word I'm looking for? Convenience.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of creating and designing technology that helps us really truly improve.
You cold, man?
No, I just like. Yeah, man, take your freaking coat off and give it to me.
I was gonna turn up the heat a little bit.
No, but I don't know, man. I think I kind of lost where I was going.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, that's okay.
Didn't want you freezing on the podcast.
No, I mean, you'll see the nips starting to get hard a little bit. You might see her nipples getting a little hard on the shirt.
Nice.
Hope no children are watching.
Oh, well, yeah. They should make sure, parental advisory.
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
We're not too vulgar, but
no, I mean, yeah.
We also don't hold back. So.
Yeah. I don't know, but.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, though. I honestly think it's going to be a huge turnout. Just the amount of people that aren't falling in line, I think it's just going to overwhelm. People need to get out there, because I said this earlier. I think the lockdown at this point is killing people more than the actual virus, in my opinion.
Yeah, killing people, business, and just everything.
Yeah, in many different aspects. So, I'm very interested to see where it's going to go when the doors open at certain places. And I think it's going to be a big turnout. Hopefully, we're up and ready to go, because we actually don't have a full band now. So, if they said next month you play a show, we'd be like,
then we get hit up by a drummer like, oh shit, I can be in a band again? Like, I don't know, but yeah, exactly. I mean, if we have to just write for a while, fuck it. You know what I mean? The other thing I thought about we can do too, we can program some drums.
I said that too.
Put some demos out,
I said that the other day. Yeah, can't do no live shows that way though. We just talked about this. Oh yeah.
I know Putrid Kyle. He's a one-man band.
Yeah.
He gets on stage and he has his drums and bass backtracked, and he does guitar and vocals.
Yeah.
It's so funny to see one guy and hear all of that.
It's cool. Yeah, I really enjoy watching that too. And it's like good music too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that would be an option, and if we have to do that for a while, so be it. I mean, we understand that there's literally nothing that can stop us from continuing progress minus, a serious health issue.
Right.
Other than that, we always think of ways where we can just meet up, work on some riffs, work on lyrics, conceptualize about the band, like think about what we can be doing next.
Yeah.
We're very productive in that manner. So I'm not too worried about however long it takes us to find a drummer. However, I'm a little antsy about it. I just want to find the right person already. We have been through 3 drummers now, and they each served their purpose maybe for a time, but we need somebody who's going to be sticking around for the long haul. I want somebody like what I hear Alan Cassidy is for the Black Dahlia Murder. Somebody that literally before the show is sitting on the bus fucking doing paradiddles on his practice pad and warming up his feet, Somebody who's so in love with what we do that he just refuses to do it with mediocrity,
Yeah.
That's what I want, because I feel like we do that as far as guitar and vocals. Like, that's why I'm so self-conscious about my patterns and my lyrics, because I don't want to put out something that's subpar.
Yeah.
I want to put out shit that is, not necessarily different, but just special in its own way, like something that people can recognize as me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we got that, man.
Yeah.
Me and Sean were talking about it, and like he's got, he's pretty certain that he said if he heard me playing a guitar with his eyes closed, he knows exactly it's me. Dude. And I was like, that's interesting, man.
I actually can agree with that for both of you. I think I could hear probably both of your guitars out like in the middle of nowhere, and I would recognize them pretty quick.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
That's good. That means we've created our own style as far as it is our own style. It's our own sound style.
Yeah. The riff structure especially, and I mean even just the tones though.
It's a tone and how you it's the approach is what he was talking about specifically. The attack on certain things and the way, that type of actual the physical movement of actually playing the instrument.
Yeah.
He could distinctly hear.
I could hear Sean do one vibrato note. No, it's him.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got some fat. He's got some fat squeals. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, that being said, we were talking about this a little bit, and I was telling him how I was listening to a musician speak, and she kind of explained it pretty well, and I could understand what she was saying. But she was talking about a situation where she was recording with the drummer, and they just weren't like getting the right tone, or it just wasn't kind of like vibing.
Right.
And I guess the guy stepped off it for the kit for a little bit, and someone else got on the kit for a little bit and was like just working wonders and like making shit just come together easily.
Yeah.
And she was like, under the assumption he did something to change. She was like, what did you do? He's like, I just sat down and started playing. I didn't do anything different.
Yeah.
And so she had the epiphany at that moment that it's like, a good musician will make something sound good.
Yeah.
You'll know when something's not clicking, you know what I mean? And you also know when something's like just syncing up easily, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know exactly what she's talking about when she said that. And I was like, that is what we haven't had yet for a drummer.
As far, somebody who has that distinguishable approach to their instrument, you know, like, because like you said, anybody can play, you know, the set of notes A through whatever, you know, but one person to the next, it's not going to sound the same because of the delivery, you know what I mean? Somebody might pluck the shit out of it, or somebody might be a little more feathery or a little ahead of the tempo or whatever.
The little personalized things, pressure sensitivity, though, all those little things make characteristics of a person's playing.
Literally even be the angle of your pick.
Yeah.
I realized the subtlety, like the difference in those subtleties when I was listening to URM podcast. It's a Ultimate Recording Machine podcast. They have an episode with one of the guitar players, Dean from Archspire.
Nice.
And then Dave Otero, the guy that recorded their Relentless Mutation album.
Oh, okay.
And he recorded Cattle Decapitation and a few others. But Dave was talking about the difference between picks when you're recording, using this size of pick and this kind of pick versus this size of pick and this kind of pick. People will come into a studio and try to play something with a really big pick that he knows you should probably use a smaller one for. So he'll recommend, hey, try this out. And a lot of people think, oh, you know, I like doing it this way. But he's telling them that because literally it sounds better from the production standpoint.
Yeah.
The tone, yeah, exactly. And so it's just little tiny things like that can make such a difference in a sound. As far as, from a production standpoint when it comes to recording, I mean, I think about all that shit when I think back on our time in the studio. Think about all these things we could have done differently, and like me personally could have done differently. So
that's what it's about, just adjusting and finding your sound. It's just like we were talking about with music and singing, like you gotta find a voice. I was talking to Brando about this when he was on the podcast.
Yeah.
Why I struggle with singing, because I haven't found my voice, you know what I mean? It's the same type of thing. You gotta find your tone. And I know the pick thing's very real, because as a person who went from 1.5 millimeter picks to whatever I'm at now, 0.8 or 1.1, like I've reduced the size and the tone changed. I noticed it immediately.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Every time I'll, because I always have those 1.5 millimeters lingering extras in the bag, and if I lose my main one, I'll just have to use one of those.
Yeah, it's different.
And it sounds different. Obviously feels a little different too, but the sound too, I noticed immediately. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. The mobility around the strings, I'm sure, is weird too. If you start doing like a run or a scale, you know, with a real thick pick, I feel like that'd be a little bit more difficult.
It is. It makes, but that helped me actually jumping up to, because I played with that pick for like 3 years straight, dude. All through our early years of Primordial. I used that pick, and it helped me build up. It's weird, like hand muscles and just like techniques. I had to try harder. Yeah. And then when I reduced the pick, it was a lot easier.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I don't even have to try as hard, and this shit feels really easy now.
Kind of like that. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a
exactly,
ball.
Dude.
It's true though. If you can learn how to do something well on something that's maybe not the best, then you can definitely do it on something that is, you know.
Right.
I've always thought that was a funny concept.
It's the same thing as like slow means fast, you know, and you gotta, if you're struggling with something, you try it slower and then you can speed it up. If you can play it clean slow, then you can play it fast. You have a better chance of playing it fast clean too.
The only thing I struggle with that hard with the slower faster thing is drums, man. It is really hard to play drums accurately slower. There's
a point where it's too slow and it becomes harder almost.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it's such consistency and you're trying to time everything, but still though, it's possible. And if you do it, you do get better.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I love that. I don't know what you said, but that's what I wrote down, is basically me and Sean were talking about, me and him are on the same page with this. Like, I'm not really playing music to make money. Like, I just enjoy that feeling I talked to you about.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to hear our shit and have an emotion drawn out of it.
Yeah.
That is payment to me.
Yeah.
It really is. I swear to God, that's one of the best feelings in the world, is people are resonating and able to let loose with something that has been created from our minds. From nothing. It came from nothing when we create this sound that is getting people to evoke emotions.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's mind-blowing, really. I mean, especially considering that what we play. We play something that the majority of the population on this planet would not understand. And if they did have any understanding, it would be misconstrued about, oh, this is aggressive, I just want to go be violent. It's like, even if the lyrics are about violent things, none of these people are going out and being violent.
Even if that was true, which, a lot of it is like that, it's like acting. Are you going to sit there and say that, Christian Bale playing American Psycho is going to go out and start killing people?
Yeah.
It's fucking ludicrous to think that.
Yeah, and they do a lot more to get into that character.
Oh, fuck
like,
yeah,
they
dude.
Live that.
Exactly.
So
like,
they're
imagine.
Okay.
Exactly. If you can get past the fact that Christian Bale is actually a good, he's not American Psycho, he's a good, wholesome dude, he's actually a pretty good guy. Then it's not far-fetched to think that people writing, crazy, violent music or whatever you call it are some good people. You know what I mean? Like, some of the best people I've met are in the metal music scene, dude.
Very educated, very polite,
very smart. I've never had
respectful people. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know if I've had a bad taste about a lot of musicians. Like I said, 95% of the time, maybe even more, they're just solid dudes. You get the occasional douchebag, whatever, you know what I mean? Someone who's just a blowhard and fucking, ego tripping and whatever. You get those guys
everywhere, yeah. But
majority of the time, though, this genre, good dudes, man. I wouldn't trade it. I mean, it's really like a sense of camaraderie and a brotherhood.
Yeah.
A sisterhood, too, if you will. You know what I mean?
It's honestly something else. I mean, I've never experienced it. I mean, somewhat in skateboarding, there's a bit of that camaraderie, but even then, it's a lot more guarded. It's a lot more, oh, this is my group, that's your group.
Yeah, okay.
But in metal, it's more genres. This is our genre, that's yours. But I think a lot of us, maybe it's just us in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but generally people are pretty open to, oh, I'm a thrash metal guy, but, that band's cool even though they're own style,
Yeah, they're interested in other genres too.
Yeah.
Not close-minded.
There's a lot of genres out here that I do not like whatsoever. Then bands that I necessarily would not listen to, but they're really cool people, and so I respect them and what they do because of how they feel about it and how hard they work for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna name them, but definitely a lot of bands we played with.
Yeah, here, this person.
Yeah. But I think about that, dude, is like, and a lot of bands do this. A lot of bands go play a show, and if most of the time when you play a show, not every fucking band is a brutal technical deathcore band or whatever you are. You know what I mean? It's usually a mixture, and you'll notice that this band, they didn't really like this other band, so they went outside and hung out, while they played or something. And of course, I'm guilty of that too. I've done it.
Right, me too.
But I think it's important to be a part of that, and I have no problem standing there and just appreciating them for their work and for what they're doing, even if I don't appreciate necessarily the style that they're doing it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like reggae, I fucking can't stand it. Our bass player was in a reggae band called Swayze Train.
That's right.
And a bunch of my friends were in that band. And so I would share their posts and I would support them because they were cool dudes. I respected how much they loved what they do, but I'm not like into that genre whatsoever. I completely dislike it.
Yeah. I'm not I guess there's not really a genre that I'm just not completely into that I can think of off the top of my head. It's crazy.
It's pretty much just reggae for me.
Okay.
And
I'm not a huge fan of that style either, but I'm not turned off by it really.
I guess it doesn't necessarily like upset me per se, like some people or some genres are just like, no, like get this shit off. But It's more of just I can't stand the repetitiveness and the fact that like 9 out of 10 songs have that. You know. Well, yeah.
Why you gotta be so rude? That sounds like reggae to me. I don't know if that's reggae or not. But
I don't know if it would be classified as reggae, but it has the feels.
It has the Exactly.
I just don't like the whole thing. How it's like a whole genre has to be Jamaican just because like maybe some of the I don't know maybe the originators of the genre were, but like either way, like you know everybody wants to sound like Bob Marley, and it's like just stop, please. You're a white kid from the suburbs of freaking North Carolina.
I will say Sting pulled it off pretty well. Sting was a white dude, from the Police. Mm-hmm. He did he had a reggae style and he pulled it off pretty clean. Of course, that was back in the 80s, I think, maybe even 70s, I'm not sure.
I guess it's just one of those things that I feel is so recycled and done, and it's like that in a lot of genres, but reggae especially.
Yeah.
I remember when I worked at the Northwest Cannabis Solutions, there was a lot of reggae played there, of course, because it's a cannabis facility.
Cliche.
Yeah, super cliche, and it's like, oh my God. And like, literally, we could listen to reggae for 2 hours, and I would not know the difference between one song to the next.
Yeah.
It's
agree.
like, if
someone could say that about our shit, too. Though.
Exactly, but the complexity of our music, for some reason, I can pick apart and see and hear all these subtle differences. But in reggae, it's like it all just blends for me. And maybe that's just how it is when you don't have the ears to appreciate something.
I feel like you've at least tried to listen for it or differences, try to listen for differences.
Yeah.
When people make comments about our music genre, usually it's usually just projecting and just them not wanting to even try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you don't understand it right off, then write it off, you know?
Exactly. They don't even want to try to understand because like if they went into it with an open mind, like, okay, maybe let me listen to this whole album or something. Let me see if all these songs sound the same or if there's actually layers to this or something. You know what I mean? A little more to this. No one really goes into that. If they're not really into that type of, you know, you got to at least like rock probably for one.
Something. You
got to at least like rock because rock is the origin of metal and those different genres that require 5 human beings or more to come together and put instruments in sync on time.
Guitars, bass, drums, and vocals.
Yeah. Which, by the way, quick side note, for me that is much more skillful. I love rap. I love DJs. I like the EDM. I like those genres, but I honestly think it's much more complex and it takes more skill to put 5 individuals with 5 instruments together and play a live show on time, in sync. That takes way more talent. Yeah. Way more talent. No disrespect, but I do have more respect for that genre in that regard.
It definitely, technical ability is much more prominent in our genre, and I mean, biased or not, I think it's a fact. Because I mean, I listen to a lot of country music, and you know, we all know that most popular top 100 songs on the radio are, you know, G, D, E, whatever, you know, those 4 chord songs that go back and forth. The ones where you can play the chords over and over and sing 10 songs. You see, and there, you know, I used to hate on that a lot, but I actually do like that stuff now, and I appreciate it for its vocal melodies. However, those guys do not struggle up there and do not have to think about it. It's probably literally second nature, like wiping their ass when they're up there playing the guitar, the banjo, the drum, you know. You know, they're not over there going, you know, 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's no variations. You know?
That's not happening. It's a lot more basic and groovy and simple because the music is supposed to be easy to digest.
Yep.
Our music is, you have to have a palate for it. It's like hard alcohol or bitter foods. Seriously, you know, like.
That's funny.
I always tell people, like.
You're right, though.
When somebody hears me listening to Dying Fetus, and this has happened many times, they're just like, oh my God, how can you listen to that shit? It sounds like a frog is doing the vocals, and the guitars are just scratching noises, and you know, the drums, who knows what the fuck's going on there.
What's up, Brando?
We got Brando?
Got Brando up in this bitch.
Suppy. Uppy. Chilling
Nice.
with the yuppies. What's up, Brando? He's the man, though.
Oh yeah.
Keep me on my bars.
We were just talking. We just dropped some. I just dropped a little. I brought your name up earlier in the podcast. Can't remember what we were talking about, but
Something about that you mentioned in his podcast.
yeah, we were talking about it though. We're thinking about you, man. Good to have you, brother.
Oh yeah, dude. Like you so much. I put your last name in my daughter's first name.
Nice.
That's not really why, but we can say that.
Another side note. Not the original basis, but one of the longest standing bases we had.
Yeah.
For Primordial. So
Brandon is, in most cases, Brandon will be what people think of when they think of Primordial bass player.
you were seen most in the PA scene for sure. Yeah, much love, dude. For real. Always mad respect, man.
Right. Good old Brando. I've known that cat for, let's see, I met him when I was like 16 or 17, so about 10 years now.
10 years.
Him and
Decade.
Nick. I met him and Nick probably first, and then like Edgar and Garrett.
I will say I appreciate all the bros in Lewis County. Because I never really knew anybody down there pre-Primordial.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the start of it, where I met all you guys. And I will honestly say that I don't know if there's one person that I had a bad relationship down in that. Like, I can honestly say most of the people that I met in Lewis County, from one band to the next, Of Sleep, Swayze Train, Blame Hoffman. I can go on and on and on with the Lewis County scene, and then obviously all the members of PA gone, and who we went through. I still got a good relationship with a lot of people, so
I mean,
and I value my relationships and friendships with all you guys in Lewis County. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, like, Lewis County has a really bad rap, and especially nowadays, given modern societal issues about racism and all this stuff. It's got a bad rap, Lewis
They're a little
County
more
is
Republican. Something.
Yeah, there's Trump and cult flags all over the place down there, and a lot of people are not comfortable with that. Which, I don't know. I mean, one side's not comfortable with the other, and it just goes forever. And I think everybody's a hypocrite when it comes to that. But the point being, there's a lot of really good people down there, man. And I always tell people that when people say, "Oh, Lewis County," especially when I worked at Northwest Cannabis, a lot of those guys are from up here. Because that was where the facility was in Tumwater, and they would all kind of tease me about, oh, you're the Lewis County guy, you're a redneck and you're racist and all this shit. I'm like, wait, what? But then again, I was talking about people smoking dope on the roof of Denny's, so
you got those everywhere though, right?
Exactly, yeah. It's just
there's always a crackhead smoking something on Denny's somewhere.
Oh yeah, dude, those servers are not just staying up on black coffee. Oh man. But no, it's just got a reputation, and unfortunately, there's a really large drug problem down there and shit. And there are a lot of racist and unacceptable behaviors down there in that sense. But one thing I do appreciate about there is the honesty. A lot of people are upfront about what they believe and what they stand for, and that's something I've always loved. Is I don't feel like I have to hide, regardless of what I believe in, where I live. To be honest, that was something up here. I noticed. I had a flag in my room at one point when I lived with you, actually. And
what kind of flag?
It was actually a rebel flag.
Oh, okay.
But it had a story. It was not a real rebel flag. It had it in the background kind of, but it had like a pirate on there or something. It was a gift for my mother. And to me, that's the significance of it. It was a gift. And
that was the significance of it, and you valued it.
Yeah. And so I had it up in my room, and I know certain people that I hung out with in those days were immediately passing judgment about it. And I think whatever you believe as far as what that flag stands for, what it meant to me was a gift. Obviously, if it was a fucking swastika, I probably wouldn't fly that, but then again, nobody's going to give me a gift like that because I don't associate with those kind of people.
Yeah.
But
unfortunately, Thurston County is full of people that are looking to get offended. Seriously. And I hate that about it. This area, it feels like there's just people that are looking for the appropriate way to handle a situation like that. Example would not to just be immediately offended. Start asking questions too.
What is that?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you have?
It should start out with a question.
Yeah.
Then the origin, the meaning, the sentiment. There's layers to it. It's not always black and white, people.
The problem is, though, is that takes work and cognitive
Fuck
effort.
yeah, it does.
And you have to have humility to be able to say, maybe my first thought wasn't right. You know what I mean? Maybe there's more to this.
Yeah.
But that's the hard way. And we all know that we want comfortability and convenience, and we're not going to take the hard way most of the time.
Well, yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, like, there's things I could, I've been woke on, but trying to keep up with the woke, trying to be, if you're not woke enough, you're getting outcast. That shit's old to me. That shit's fucking, it doesn't even make sense, and it's kind of silly, and I don't get it, and it's a bad, it's just creating bad tension between people. It's not creating good relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it might be creating good relationships between the mutually woke.
Yeah, we need to cancel culture. That shit's gotta go.
So yeah, there's immense pressure for people to, if you're not woke, then watch what you say, watch what you promote, watch what you hang on your wall, watch what you should walk on eggshells if you're not woke. Or if you're not woke, you should be woke. And it's like,
yeah, it's kind of confusing how a lot of the times the side that says the other side is so much like this ends up being the side that's portraying those characteristics a lot of times.
Absolutely.
Like, I've had arguments with people that feel very differently with me on a lot of political things, and when you really break it down, a lot of the things they're saying to me are about what I am is how they're treating me, calling me certain names, saying I'm acting a certain way. And
hypocrisy.
Exactly. It's hypocrisy. So I don't know. Sometimes you just have to let people, do what they do. You can try to show them a different way of thinking, but, lead a horse to water type of shit. So
yeah,
if you want to live in that woke lifestyle and think, you live with your mom, you're 19 years old, you work at McDonald's and you got everything figured out, go for it. That's cool. If you live that way, that's fine. But it's when it affects me where you're telling me that I'm an idiot because I think this or whatever.
It's when you project it that I get irritated with it. Like, you're gonna project how woke you are and how woke I should be. I'm taking offense to that, like, because I could be considered woke with the veganism and things that I do. I don't go to zoos and things like that. If someone wants to nitpick me, they could say, "Oh, he's woke to that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But the thing about that is, you will never hear me leading with shit like that, and you'll never hear me pushing that, really, even. It's only when someone's interested in that and ask me questions, and I'm like, oh, you take an interest in this? Then I can have a conversation with you about it, because I'm never going to fucking throw anything down your throat.
Exactly, and that's something that a lot of people, especially with the vegan thing, and we've had this conversation, and you guys had this conversation on the podcast many times, but a lot of people that eat that way, even if they truly just want to help somebody understand, their delivery of their beliefs, or walking into a room and seeing somebody eat something and say, oh, what are you eating? Oh, did you know this and that? It's like, nobody wants to have that shit bombarded on them.
Nobody wants unsolicitation.
Exactly. Like, but if I start not feeling good and I've been eating a lot of ground beef lately, and I say, hey Ben, do you ever get feelings like this when you eat whatever? And you can say no, and actually the reason why you're feeling that way is because this does that to you, whatever, share your knowledge.
You're interested. You're showing interest.
Exactly. The interest in learning is the doorway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To change, or to at least just learning, or even if you open the door, hear all the information, don't believe or agree with it, you don't have to step backwards and say, oh, that's stupid, or that's dumb or wrong. You can just accept that that's maybe not what you think or feel,
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. I wish that the woke community would just live in their own head and live their life the way that they want to, without trying to band together and basically make this wannabe multi-level marketing societal group like this. It's kind of frustrating, you know what I mean? Then it turns into an agenda.
Yeah.
Practically, which again, there's a lot of layers to this, people that would argue, well, if no one talks about it, nothing's gonna ever be done. And so there's a lot of layers to it, but
there is.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's always going to be things that, most people should be hip to as far as understanding, like the government's not always your best friend and shit like that. Pretty much everybody should have that figured out by now.
Yeah.
But
there is some things that people should hear no matter what. And that's just for the benefit of, humanity, and maybe you just care about that person. You're
right,
like,
yeah,
hey, dude, I care about you. Maybe I just want to share this with you.
Yeah, exactly.
But a lot of the woke community, I feel like, is just not that. It's propaganda, and trying to.
It's almost elitism.
Yeah.
You know, I know I have this thing, you know, and instead of wanting to share it with everybody, they want to throw it at your face, and if you don't take it, well, fuck you then, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah. If you're not on their side, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
You can't even be a little bit woke. You have to be woke enough to be part of this group, or you're going to be outcast, because they eat their own. Trust me. They'll fucking eat you alive, dude. Yeah. They don't. They love fucking outcasting their own, and fucking finding a weakness in their own, and like just saying you are not woke enough.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You made this post in 2012.
Yeah.
You're an ageist.
Looking for ways to be offended. Exactly. So. It's interesting. It's funny how we got onto that topic, but
that could be a whole episode.
No, absolutely. And like I said, the things I talk about, just so we know here, and I'm not trying to steal your thunder or anything, but just real quick here, I'm not here to push anything. These are like, what did I want to say? Like, I hope nobody takes offense to anything I say, and if you do, I don't care. But I'm not here to aim to offend anybody. But what I am here to do is be authentic, and also have an open mind on top of that, and I encourage that with people. But that being said, I said it earlier, I have douchey moments, right? Everybody does. And like, there'll be some things that I said that I'll regret. There'll be some things that I, might not be right about. And I'm admitting that, and that's part of what I was just talking about earlier, where I'm going to start holding myself, being more humiliate myself a little bit more. And I'll be the first to say that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm douchey sometimes, so.
Yeah, oh my God,
But the accountability,
yeah, exactly.
After that, you know what I mean? And the acknowledgement is what kind of speaks volumes about what kind of person you are. Mm-hmm. If you're just douchey and you're like, yeah, I don't care what you think. Like, this is my belief system. Like, I don't really care what you have to say. There's just many ways of being douchey, but if you're like not authentically, if you're douchey on a, where most people would think that's douchey type thing, and you can look at that and be like, yeah, that probably wasn't. Yeah, I probably don't agree with that now, or something. You realize that was probably douchey. Just acknowledging that really is like progress and like growth.
It's a show of character improvement. Absolutely.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure people didn't think that I'm they're mishearing what I'm saying as being insensitive. It's just, I have beliefs. These are what they are, and I am open-minded to hearing yours, but I'm also not a fucking pushover on top of that. And so a little bit of both there, but you got to understand what's coming out of my mouth to really
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I sat here and spilled the beans on my thoughts on everything political, moral and all that, I'd probably have some people saying, oh, this and that, but like you said, I don't really give a shit if those people have any ill feelings about me because of how I feel about things. What I want to be known is that, I don't have any intentions of hurting anybody's feelings or putting anybody down. If I say I don't believe in eating cheese and somebody eats cheese, I don't think that person is any less of a good person, I just don't agree with that,
Right.
Then again, I fucking love cheese.
Children.
Yeah. Some people have said that. I remember.
Oh yeah, they'll take it to the extreme.
Something about like, this world's so fucked up. Why are people having kids right now? And it's like, well, who the fuck are you to tell anybody to not have kids or to have kids? Like, come on. Yeah. It's like, you can't tell somebody if they're a he or she, but you can tell them not to reproduce. Like, what? Come on, guys.
I did like our idea that me and Danny were talking about a few episodes back about people should have to. My idea was to have people. First of all, this is a no-brainer, and I think everybody would agree with this. You should have to pass a parenting class before you have kids. Yeah. You should have some kind of criteria before having a kid, in my opinion. And a parenting class is one of them that should be done. Just because there's a lot of people going into it that are just like, they don't know.
Yeah.
And that would
the problem is those people are mixed in with an even larger group of people that don't give a shit.
Oh, exactly.
And so there's not much for them to be able to do besides, hopefully have a friend or a parent or maybe an aunt and uncle that can teach them things.
Someone's got to make the change.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just fall in line and you just you're just fitting in this large unintelligent group.
Yeah,
That's
and
just.
then there's more kids, more dumb kids, and then oh god.
When I say unintelligent, that doesn't mean dumb. That means more uneducated than anything is what I'm saying when I say unintelligent. Some people might look to get offended when I say that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People are gonna get offended about everything. So
Yeah.
if you get offended about people saying that people sometimes are unintelligent, you're probably unintelligent.
What I hate, I have compassion for the people that get offended so quick, because when you get offended that quick, you miss the whole message. You check out immediately and you don't even pay attention to the actual substance of the statement or whatever belief or whatever you got offended about in the first place.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're not growing mentally and you're fucking moving backwards, in my opinion.
Yeah, and moving backwards can take you pretty fucking far in the hole.
You gotta pull that back. I don't know why he does that every now and then, so. Well, that's cool, man. I like talking about stuff like that. Real quick though, what's your thoughts on Santa and your children? We were talking about this a little bit. Let's switch gears here a little bit. You already know, I think if anybody's been paying attention to, actually, I might have only brushed across this. Me and my daughter's podcast, we've definitely talked about it. So we can talk about it now. I want to know.
Yeah.
Me and you talked a little bit about it. So, yeah, I'm interested to know how you were going to approach your daughter with Santa. And I mean, obviously she's too young right now to comprehend
Right,
anything,
but these are conversations.
as she gets older, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were kind of along the same lines with me, which I enjoy
Yeah.
as far as my beliefs.
It makes it tough to have debates with you because we agree on everything. But
Right? We deliberately were trying to look for something we disagree in, and not saying we don't. There's something there. We just
guarantee, yeah.
We just couldn't figure out in a pinch what it was yet.
Probably something stupid like, you put milk before cereal, which I think is fucking like criminal.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that's blasphemy. Yeah,
It is. It's disgusting.
many things. I dry myself from my feet up. People think that's fucking weird too. See what I
Wipe your
mean?
ass before you shit. No.
Oh my god, that's hilarious,
I don't know,
dude.
man. That's funny, but that's probably the only things that we disagree on, to be honest, right now. So
Well, when we find it, we'll lock it in and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, no, we were looking for something to.
Yeah.
And the reason for that was because what were we just going to get into? Okay, hold that thought on Santa. Yeah, hold that thought. The reason for that is because recently I had an experience where someone, this is the viral viewpoint actually, I was going to talk about attention seekers who only want to hear validation with no friction. You guys picking up what I'm saying here? There's attention seekers that can't handle an opposing viewpoint. They just want to put that attention out there because they want either a cheerleader, they want a pat on the back, they want everybody to tell them it's going to be okay, or like you're right. They want the validation, and then as soon as someone comes with an opposing viewpoint, like they either get deleted or canceled or whatever, and they're like, I'm not even going to engage that conversation.
Or there's a retort, an emotional retort of, hey, you don't know what I'm going through, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Emotional.
I feel bad for people in those places like that. Like you have it, I mean, you need to work on your backbone. You need to work on fucking your voice. You need to work on using the attention in the right way. Like you started out doing it good. You got the attention. But now that you got the attention, you didn't know what to fucking do with it.
Yeah. You hold on to it till it fades, and then you find somebody else to give it to you.
Yeah.
And that's what most people do. It's an endless cycle.
They weren't looking. And so, yeah, that happened to me. Long story short, someone was putting themselves out there. I chimed in with like, hey, this is my viewpoint on this. I even said, hey, hopefully you don't take offense to this. Much respect, dude. Like, it was a very respectful comment, dude. I don't know if you've seen it at all, but
I did, yeah.
Okay, it was respectful. I mean, I had my own harsh viewpoints on it, but it was not disrespectful.
No,
at all.
It was not.
It would only disrespect somebody if they were looking to get offended, just like I was fucking talking about.
Yeah.
And so, not even that speaks volumes about people too. Like being able to have that conversation about a challenging conversation, you know what I mean? Like it's a boring conversation when everybody agrees all the time, and not saying this is boring, but yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting also when people have different viewpoints. So
it is, and you might learn something about yourself or your own mindset that you never knew just by thinking of it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And my whole point with wanting to do that too was just proving that you can completely disagree on something. Like, I was hoping we could find something where you were like, it's black, and I'm like, it's white. You know what I mean? So that we could prove that even if we got heated in the debate, which we probably wouldn't, but
Yeah, right.
even if we did, I know for a fact that it wouldn't end in some sort of, well, I'm just gonna
Well, fuck you.
fuck you. I guess I'm not doing the podcast again.
I'm
you
gonna
know?
cancel the fuck out of you.
fuck, I'm canceling the band. Yeah. No, it would be, by the end of it would be, hey, I appreciate your explanations and your passion behind your beliefs, and I can even maybe understand or respect why you think that way. I just don't, and I hope you feel the same way. But
Yeah.
that is how you should be talking to people, and it can be about anything,
You don't have to disrespect people when you're challenging them.
Yeah.
It should be delivered, the same way I delivered it. I ended it with, hope you don't take offense. Much respect to you, man.
Yeah, these are my opinions. And
There was no
when it
ill
comes
intent.
when it comes to something as petty as, hey, I like to listen to Bob Dylan, and you say, I think Bob Dylan's a little overrated.
Wow, you just put that in perspective for me.
Yeah, dude.
That is petty. Wow.
It is.
It's not like a heavy topic, right?
No, it's literally, I like something. You don't like it, that hurts me. How the fuck does that work? And I felt it. When somebody says, God, I can't stand Alter Beast. That band fucking sucks. Part of me is like, well, that opinion sucks. I think this band is awesome.
Right.
I respect them, and I can go off about them. But guess what? I don't give a shit if somebody thinks they suck. Because that doesn't mean they do.
Exactly. And honestly, it's more intriguing. You're also like me, I think. We're like, well, what makes you?
Yeah, why?
I'm interested to know. Because I want to learn. I'm the same way. I want to learn where your thought process is at and where you fit as far as where I think you fit in my mind. You know what I mean?
I want to understand the psychology behind it.
Yes. I want to learn. I want to learn.
There's always something to gain from understanding somebody else's mental makeup or psychology, Like, my wife all the time will say something about a song or point something out about the song or whatever, and it's just like, I never would have thought of it in that way, whether it's, hearing a certain part of it or understanding a perspective about a lyric, things like that. It's just, everybody's got a unique mind, and everybody thinks of a different image when they hear the same word.
Yeah.
You ever thought about that?
Yeah.
If I say apple, you just thought of an apple in your head, but is it the same apple I just thought of?
It was red.
Mine was red too. Did yours have a worm coming out of it?
No.
Mine did for some reason. You know what I'm saying? It had the little green leaf on it.
It was shiny though. It was like a glossy apple.
See? That's
like a little bit of light glimmer out there.
Isn't that weird how that works?
There's detail in there.
Boom, I say it, it's there, but the fact is we could be totally, like, I could be thinking about a fucking, what you think is an orange. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that confusion, that gap leads to a lot of people arguing about something even if they think the same thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, my anger management counselor used to have a saying. I can't remember. I wish I remember verbatim what it was, but he used to say it quite a bit, and it made sense completely. He had a lot of good sayings, man. But one of the sayings it was X amount of percent of what is being said is actually X percent that's being received. Mm-hmm. Long story short, what you say to somebody is not how it's going to be received.
Exactly.
You have to really elaborate and make sure and talk with somebody a little bit more and engage with them so they understand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just like I said right now, how I kind of said I don't want people to misunderstand me. Mm-hmm. Not because I'm worried about somebody being offended.
Right.
I'm worried about what I'm saying coming out is going to be twisted as it goes through your fucking neocortex.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if you're offended. I just want you to understand it before you make that choice to be offended or not.
Yeah.
You have to understand what I'm saying before you can even make a decision. Otherwise, you're just, like you said, it's the lazy mind. Nobody wants to put the effort into it. Like, oh, I heard this and that's all I heard. Yeah. I'm checking out.
Leaving the easy way out.
I'm checking out. Yeah, I'm going to take this way. Everybody's going this way, and it's hard work that way. I'm not going to go that way.
I think by doing what you said, you sort of eliminate the possibility of that being an excuse for why there's an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you say, fuck, I lost where I was going with that, damn it.
Oh, about how I elaborated on...
Yeah. If you elaborate on something, then someone can't say, oh, he must mean it. He must just be trying to be a dick.
Yeah.
You clearly said that's not my intentions.
Yeah.
And you could be lying, but what's the point in going out of your way like that? Just to.
I think people know I would like to hope that anybody who watches me, and definitely people that know me, know I'm pretty fucking honest and pretty authentic.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem exposing my demons.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm going to do it even more so now just to prove it. And so it's a test I'm going to be doing. And so, but yeah, even prior to then, I've been doing this already little by little in the last year and a half, where I'm just really exposing myself and being transparent and letting people know I'm fucking weak too. You know what I mean? But I know this and I acknowledge it and I do something about it. I have separated myself from everybody else who's also weak. You know what I mean? So but yeah, dude, you're right. I don't like my message, what comes out of my mouth, being misinterpreted. I hate that because then there's no value in that. Yeah. You're not even listening to me. You didn't even fucking understand what I was saying.
The worst
you just heard the words.
The worst is when they interpret what you're saying and tell you what you meant by it.
Yeah. Like, wait a second, bro. You're going to tell me what I said? You're going to tell me what I meant? Yeah. That doesn't even make sense. How are you going to tell me what I'm telling you? What I meant? This is my life, this is my story.
No. You're trying to hurt my feelings.
Are you ready to listen? Because I'll explain it to you right now. Are you ready? Yeah, it's crazy, dude. People are so quick. And we live in this world now where over sensory, dude. Sensory overload. Dude. Things come fast. Our faces in screens all the time. Yeah. It's really hard to, and I'm guilty of this too. I'm no different, but I acknowledge it. So I'm almost willing to bet I do it more often than people because I'm aware of it. And I make it a point to stop the world and kneel down on my knee and have a conversation with my daughter and shit like that. Like I know because I get caught up, you know what I mean? That's an example. Yeah. I get caught up in the fast world and I'm always on the computer, I'm doing orders and all that. Yep. You know what I mean? And that being said, it's contributing to the fact that people are less and less having authentic, meaningful relationships where they're actually connecting with people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, back to the convenience and technology. Now, I mean, you could literally be in the next room and I could just decide, I'm just going to text Ben real quick and see if bring me a box of cereal.
By the way, that's silly when people do that. It is text
but it's so fucking real.
Oh, I know it. I've been in a relationship where it was like that. It's probably been 8 years now. Yeah, where that person would text me in the next room when I just left the room they were in. They text me and I'm sitting in the living room like, hey, seriously, man? Hey, what are you up to? And that's the society we're living in, man. And so I really hats off to the people that are just stopping time, stopping the world, and just stopping all the fucking noise just for a moment, even if it's just 10 damn minutes. To do whatever to just talk to somebody, man, and not just talk at them, talk to them and listen to them and you know what I mean, reverberate off each other, Yeah, exactly. That's diminished so much, man. And you gotta we were fighting for that to keep that still, basically.
It's really unfortunate, the connection that people are losing, and I think it just goes further and further. By the time we're old men, it's gonna be twice what it is now. You know what I mean? Yeah. People won't have to fucking even leave their houses to do anything. They can order everything. They don't have to talk to other people. And I believe that there's even an area in Seattle where they practice this type of behavior, like a community where they don't associate with each other further than, saying thank you to the guy who just sold you the groceries and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? They stay home. They don't associate with each other. They don't go out in
minimal
groups.
Interaction.
Yeah. And I don't understand that. That to me is like psychopathic type shit.
That's, God, that's just, what is it? I mean, what's good words for that? It's just,
unnatural.
Yeah, because we're social creatures.
Species, yeah,
absolutely. And it is unnatural.
Yeah, and the fact that we're all unique and your strengths might be my weaknesses and vice versa, we are meant to be in a community, Yeah,
we gotta learn from each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said about, the world just stopping and... Who's that?
What's up, Jim? What's up, Jim? That's Uncle Jim.
Uncle Jim.
Okay. That's Danny's grandpa.
Oh, Danny's grandpa.
Yeah. How you doing, Jim?
How's it going?
Good to have you, man.
Never
Yeah,
met,
he's been following the podcast like
Yeah.
regularly, man. I really appreciate his consistency, and
yeah,
and a lot of times, I don't know if you were with us earlier, Jim, but we were talking about, just to back it up a little bit, we were talking about opposing viewpoints. Me and Jim have had opposing viewpoints too.
Right.
I got that sense, and so we were talking about, you know, being able to have conversations like that. Obviously, it's not a real conversation, but I feel like if we were in person, we'd probably have a good conversation too. But yeah, being able to actually accept other people's viewpoints and talk and understand and learn from somebody.
Yeah, and just respect that things are different and not everybody has to agree on everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good thing. But yeah, I'm scared, dude, for this the way it's going, the less and less interaction.
Yeah.
But it is making those interactions and those moments I was talking to you about, where I did kneel down and I make it a point to actually come down to my daughter's level and like eye to eye contact, talk to her. It makes those moments now even more valuable because it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
And so like, I think my daughter's going to look back on these moments, and hopefully everybody else that I take the time to actually talk to will remember these moments like, damn, Ben actually fucking, when he was talking to somebody, he was there.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, it's not fucking me on the phone, fucking like, you know, sometimes, again, I am guilty of some of this stuff, but
we all are. Yeah.
For the most part, I do generally want to be in the moment, and I do think of that 9 times out of 10. I'm very aware of that, and so I'll put things aside and make sure that I'm actually in the moment.
Me and Ray actually started doing something recently, and we haven't necessarily done it every night, but we try to make it a point at least once every night or during the day. Usually I don't get home till the nighttime, but we take a half hour to just completely focus on playing with our daughter. No cell phones, no TV, literally just on the floor, rolling around with her, giggling, wrestling, playing. Half hour straight, because that kind of just face-to-face interaction, it's not the same as, you know, me watching TV and looking over and say, oh, hey kid, I love you, you know what I mean, and going back to my thing.
Not at all.
It's not the same. Yeah.
Not at all.
It doesn't seem genuine, you know, and maybe she's just a baby, she doesn't understand, but you don't have to understand and feel things, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean?
You might be shocked with how much they actually do comprehend and understand, and what they might remember.
Yeah. And the thing I was going to say about, you know, with you kneeling down with Malia like that, that could have such an impact on not only her, but, you know, say she grows up and she, you know, talks about this with people in her life when she's an adult.
Absolutely.
And somebody hears it and says, hey, you know, I'm going to do that with my kid.
Absolutely.
That could just make a chain reaction to spread positivity and some real face-to-face connection with people that, you know, that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because you love your daughter and you want to give her the respect and attention you feel she deserves.
Yeah.
And you know, the undivided attention, that's the important part.
Absolutely.
So it's just something
to build our relationship, and let her know that I value our relationship. You know what I mean? That's what that's the message you're bringing across. How much do you value the person you're talking with? Because if you're not there with them, they don't get the sense that you don't value that talk or them at all. And it's really just a way of, you know, mannerisms speak volumes too, you know. And if you're just checking out and you're trying to multitask and you just can't slow life down to take the 2 minutes to talk to somebody, it's very apparent, and that can be offensive. Yeah,
you can do a lot of damage to a kid too, you know.
Yeah,
it's really
I like what Jim is saying.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
You used to take time with your sons. That's great, man. And I get that impression, especially when, you know, Mark and Philip get on here and join the podcast too. They definitely make it very clear that you're a good dad and that you were a good dad growing up. And now when grandkids are around, there you go. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And those grandkids remember that, you know, hey, grandpa took the time to talk to me, you know, he's not face deep in a screen. And you're right, we need more positivity, man. I agree with everything you're saying.
Absolutely. I mean, just from an outsider perspective, being a listener to the podcast, and I've seen Jim and Mark and Philip and stuff get on there, and I don't know them, never met them, but I feel like they're pretty solid dudes just by the way they speak to you and speak to each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just a little bit of information I have to go off of, but
I would be willing to bet that, you know, part of that is because, or a lot of that is probably because he's taken the time to actually talk to them, you know. It's important, man. It really is.
It really is, man.
So we're losing that. Let's get that back, man. We got to. And like I said, I'm no, angel when it comes to that too. I'm a very busy guy, and I do that all the time. But I also do things like you. There's really one thing that I do in particular, and that's read. We read for an hour. Sometimes I'll make sure it's at least half hour, but it always ends up being an hour.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's like one of my favorite parts of the day, where me and my daughter sit on the couch, TV off, and we're reading. We're just reading. It's comfortable. We're just, we're snuggling, and this is one-on-one time, and we're talking and we're learning. I value that shit, man. And so I think you'll value that too, as it sounds like you're already, valuing it. So
yeah, right now it's music. I put on Black Dahlia Murder the other day, the removal of the oaken stake, and she started just rocking back and forth.
Dude, nice.
I'm like, all right, cool. Like, little things like that, just enjoying moments with your children. I mean, yeah, I definitely encourage anybody listening, whether it's right now or after the podcast, just hang out, just spend a little bit of legitimate time with, whether it's your wife, could just be your friend, your mom, whatever.
Mom, yeah. I'm guilty of this too. I just don't take the time to call my mom even. I feel guilty about these things. Like I said, that goes in line with what I'm not perfect. I wish I can do this more. I wish I need to do this more. I'm not gonna sit here and say I wish. Like, I need to start doing this more. I mean, start making the time for everybody. And unfortunately, I can't get to everybody. It's kind of like, I'm not popular or anything, but it's kind of relative to where, like, someone who's so successful, like, I can't get to all the emails, guys, but just know that I love and appreciate you. Yeah. Sometimes I just have to do that blanket statement because it's true. A lot of people, if you're in my circle and, you know who you are. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I say I love and respect you and cherish and value our friendship or relationship or love or anything like that, you know who you are because I've probably given you the time of day and I've probably taken the time to talk to you.
Exactly. I kind of struggle with that a lot more lately in my life at my age. I mean, I have a lot of cousins, aunts and uncles, and lots of family members that are younger and that I'd like to have a relationship. But I mean, I work, I play in a band, I have my own child, I have my own wife. So part of me, it hurts, because my cousins, for example, one of them's in freshman year of high school and the youngest one is like 2 or 3 and there's like 4 or 5 in between. I love every one of those kids and I wish I could give them all individual attention. And so I actually did at one point kind of do something like that. I took the oldest one and we went out and we got lunch together and some ice cream and we just hung out for like 2 hours.
That's cool, man.
And I'm planning on taking the next one and then, just to show them each that, hey, you matter, not just you as a whole, you and your family. Because especially being a middle child, my wife talks about this a lot. She had an older and a younger brother. The middle child kind of gets the short end of the stick a lot. Yeah. Because they're not the baby, but they're not the big dog. So, I want to make sure that those kids really just know from somebody that's not their mom that they are special and they are worth it and they deserve some one-on-one attention.
Kids remember that especially, man. They'll remember moments like that too. Mm-hmm.
Looks like Jim's got some more comments on that.
Yeah, Jim, you're saying you used to read in the mornings, usually with a cup of coffee, half hour or so, and then when the parents are gone, you'll be when parents are gone, you'll be regretting that you did not take more time. Just saying, no, I hear you, man. Like I said, I when I sit here and say I wish, I don't want to speak like that. Like I need to make the time for stuff like that. And then you're saying you text your sons every day. You hope they initiate it, but most of the time you have to. Well, don't take offense to it, man. Like I said, it's the cat in the cradle and the silver spoon, and sometimes we just get busy and have a hard time with this oversensory world we live in to just take the time we're talking about. Like, it's work. It is work.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I would have to spend a whole day to go into my contacts, and I probably might have to just do that. Just spend one day, call my mom, my stepdad, my siblings,
Just tell everybody you love them, you're thinking of them.
Exactly. Just letting you know, I don't really have a lot of time, but hey, I just wanted to see how you're doing, I mean? Just let you know that, you want to talk to anything, talk to me, I'm here, I want to let you know you matter. So I'm going to start making those calls, man.
Yeah. I want to be better about that myself. For me right now, it's getting over some issues with certain family members of mine that have done some inappropriate things that really upset me and things that should never have happened, but I want to let go of it and move past it and at least be cordial with these people that I do love, but I don't want to necessarily have in my life all the time. But just I don't want to have the negativity of this burden of having issues with people that I generally want to see thrive and be happy. What I mean? That is a lot of stress and weight that nobody wants to carry around. And so that's kind of part of it too, is don't just let little petty shit like that.
It's unnecessary too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's all in your control, really. Like, anything could be worked out, even if there's friction. Yeah, it can be worked out with effort.
Exactly.
And the time, obviously, those two combined, and anything could be, worked out.
Yeah.
And then you were saying, I just know that they're more busy, kids and working and all. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, again, it's
part of life.
It's part of life. I can tell all your boys love you, though, man. They value their relationship with you. So I can say that. I got that vibe for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's important, man. And like back to what you were saying about, you were saying, all the things that, you hope that Malia, or, by me taking the time with Malia, she's going to, in turn, implement those good habits with, her own children, or even spread the message to anybody else.
Right.
Although you said that's not what I'm aiming to do, because it's not in that example, that is a nice byproduct of that. And that's exactly one of the main reasons why I do this podcast, though, or why I do any live feeds.
Yeah.
Because I like contributing, and I like using myself as an example, and I'm pretty certain I'm on the path to, I'm being better. I'm better and better and better, always trying to grow, always trying to learn. And I have no doubt I'm going to be very, very successful. It might be 5 years, might be 10 years, might be 15, might be 20, whatever it is. I'm in it for the long haul. But that's what I'm here for, is to contribute. And if I can, that actually makes me happy, man. I think a part of that is because I don't know why I've thought about it quite a bit, because I do a lot of self-analyzing and, like, as Goggins likes to call it, live autopsy.
Yeah.
I do that with myself. And I think a part of that, me enjoying contributing, is because I spent a good portion of my younger years victimizing people, where I was, stealing and doing drugs and, just being a victim. I was a victim, so I didn't know any better. I created more victims. And so I did that for the first 16 years of my life, probably.
Yeah.
And so I get way more enjoyment out of contributing to anybody. And I hope that anything that I put out there, someone resonates with it, and maybe even passes that message, and kind of just, it's just a pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all you can really hope is you put the positivity out there, and you hope that it is received and maybe even duplicated.
Yeah, because ultimately, I think a lot of what I think is valuable, like what we're talking about, taking time with people, like I think stuff like that needs to be heard.
Yeah,
it needs to be heard. People are just so, especially in the fast-paced world, they know this, what I'm saying is the truth, but they probably haven't even heard it be said.
Yeah.
And maybe it just takes that for somebody to hear it and click. Maybe, sometimes that's all it takes.
Exactly. When it's normal to hand your kid a tablet and, hardly talk to them until it's time to go to bed again, you can't necessarily blame people for falling into that, but at the same time, it's you got to break the cycle of certain things sometimes and really look at it and say, all right, am I using this time as wise as I could? Is it hurting? For example, is it hurting my child to just put them in front of the TV all night and do my own thing aside? I mean, I wouldn't say that it's physically hurting them, but mentally, I don't think that you're giving them what you could be giving.
Yeah. More importantly, it's creating a bad habit.
Yeah.
You do it once, you're going to keep doing it. Just getting in a good habit of what you're doing is creating good habits. Mm-hmm. Like, you're valuing that time that you've carved out, and it's going to be noticed in time. Yeah. Even when she transitions into those stages where she starts remembering, she has those memories locked in her head.
Yeah.
It's going to be there. It's not something like, oh shit, I better start taking the time because I haven't been, and she's going to remember all this stuff. And so,
I really want her I've talked to my wife about this, and we really just want to make sure that her earliest memories, because we all know it's unpredictable. No one knows when you're going to start having those memories that you're going to remember forever. But I want hers to be something positive, even if it's just all of us laying on the floor playing with Legos, something like that. I'd rather have it be that than, just in a memory of me sitting in my chair playing video games or something, which I do that a lot too. Yeah, like that's not a bad thing per se, but there's no positive significance to that in any way.
You could have done something more with that time. Yeah.
It could have been something better that produced better things in turn, but I'm gonna go ahead and go way back and say Santa Claus.
Dude, thank you. Let's do it, because we're going down that path.
It's almost 9 o'clock right now.
That's okay. We're gonna probably go about 10 minutes past because we started late anyway.
Me. Yeah, I mean, I don't even feel like we've been in here that long, but Santa
like
Claus.
I said, man, we'll eat up time, dude. I got fucking like 3 pages of shit to talk about, and there's no way we can even squeeze it in this. So I always recycle my material.
Yeah,
and then that week I have more shit to talk about, so it's just like
you need a bigger book,
right? It's like had like 6 of them, and this is the last one. So
oh shit, fuck, dude.
But yeah, what's your Santa Claus? How are you gonna approach your daughter with Santa Claus? Starting out and through the years, like what's your thoughts on that? And give us your take. You've already heard my stand on it, and so we'll get into it if you guys haven't heard where.
Right. Basically, I mean, if you were around for the earlier part of the episode, I think Ben and I generally agree on this. For me, it's really, well, first off, I was brought up not believing in Santa Claus.
Yeah, most of us,
Yeah, and a lot of my friends at school.
Oh wait, not believing?
Not believing, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So I was told from a very young age, Santa Claus is not real.
Okay.
I buy you the presents.
All right.
And
by who?
My grandmother.
Okay. Who raised you?
Yeah, my grandmother raised me from the time I was about 3 years old.
I know this, but I'm just
right. Yeah, for the people,
for the viewers. Yeah.
Yes, grandmother raised me, and by the time I started coming into the understanding of complexities like Santa Claus and Christmas and understanding more things about the world, she just told me. She said, "Hey, a lot of people believe in this. This is not actually true. It is a story. The purpose of the story is to be, is to promote the message of positivity and be kind and do the right thing."
Because, I love that. Your grandma's awesome.
She really broke it down and gave it to me straight. And I was able to look at it, and instead of what most people think, instead of me huddling into a ball and crying and saying, "Oh my God, Santa's not real," and everybody thinks he is, it wasn't like that. Instead, it was like, oh, okay, I'm a kid. I feel grateful that my grandmother buys me new toys. And, she was able to then put it into perspective too. Hey, I stay at work late sometimes. That's so that I can do these things for you,
Nice.
So I can buy you new shoes or new games or whatever.
Yeah.
And fuck, I mean, I just feel like telling your child that some big fat guy with a beard is going to come through your fucking chimney in the middle of the night and leave things for you for no reason. Just because you didn't act like an asshole throughout the year. I just think that's stupid.
Milk and cookies, leave those out too.
Yeah.
Santa loves milk and cookies. It's ridiculous.
Again, the message is brilliant. Be good to other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be good. But the problem I have with it is the Santa Claus thing kind of makes it like, be good so that you get good things. Be good so you don't get coal. You know what I mean? I think that whole deal it's a scare tactic and it's a lie. Yep. And I think if you have to be dishonest and use fear to motivate somebody into doing the right thing, what's to keep them from doing the wrong thing when they realize that you were just bullshitting them the whole time, That's kind of how I look at it. I mean,
well, I think it can help in certain cases, but you're right. When you're lying and trying to put the fear, you can't do that, because now you're not, your fear's not genuine.
Yeah,
and I mean, there's no real fear.
No,
like, you lied to me.
It's not like saying, "Hey, don't take that cup and smash it into your face. You're gonna be in serious pain."
Right.
That is putting a little bit of fear, saying, "Wait, that sounds scary. I don't want to be hurt." That makes sense because that's a fact that will happen.
Yeah.
When you say, "Hey, this jolly man is gonna give you free stuff if you don't act like an asshole," it's just not the same the credibility isn't the same. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because it's not a fact. It's a concept that we have created into some big grand story. We made songs about it and movies and clothes and oh my god. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some good things about it, but in general, I think it's shady and kind of just, you know, if you have to lie to do something good, is it worth doing the good thing? You know what I mean?
No.
In some cases, sure. If you have to tell your kid, you know, don't eat that rat poison because whatever reason, like, sure, you know, but those kind of things don't exist very often, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, there's always an extenuating circumstance is my point. But I don't know. I think it's unfair, and I don't want to explain to my daughter one day when, you know, a kid like me goes to school and says, no, my mom told me the truth. Santa doesn't exist. She buys me all the presents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my kid to get in a fight with that kid because, no, that's not true. You insulted something I believe in, therefore I'm mad at you. Remember that part of it. We don't need that. I don't want my kid coming home crying saying, Dad, Johnny told me that Santa's not real and why didn't you tell me, you know? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I really, really admired how you told Malia, hey, other kids are not going to think this way. Other kids will believe that Santa's real.
I was just thinking that when you were talking about that.
Exactly. And you gave her the tools to handle that properly.
Yeah.
So that it not only doesn't come back to you in a negative fashion, but it doesn't affect her in that way.
I gave her a heads up, yeah. And I also encouraged her not to push it on anybody, just like my veganism and any of my beliefs.
Anything,
I said only if someone's interested, you can explain to you what you were taught.
Yeah.
But never just start forcing that on people.
It's, you know, you don't open the door before somebody knocks kind of shit.
Yeah,
They knock, you say, all right, this is what I got for you.
Exactly. When they're interested.
That'll help her a lot in life, I think, in just a lot of ways rather than just Christmas. But that's my viewpoint on it, you know. I don't feel comfortable lying to my kid for all these reasons and it being justified because the whole world does it. You know?
Well, first of all, when you get down to the bare minimum of it, that's the biggest reason why the top reason why I told Malia Santa's not real. I value my trust with my daughter.
Yeah.
Like that's a fucking, you know, like a bedrock for us. It's the foundation of our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If I start that off by lying, I don't care if it's a white lie, if it's a silly little lie, if it's, you know, a lie like that, it shatters the trust. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It does. There's no way around it.
It almost does it more too when they can't understand why you would lie to them.
Absolutely. You know? They just like, why would you go through so much? Because it requires effort. This lie has been fucking thought out and is very elaborate. I mean, we're talking reindeers and shit. We're talking about it's okay to have your children randomly sit on a fucking dude's lap. Like, we're talking about
don't know.
We're talking about some crazy fucking shit here. This is, when you put it in perspective, this is fucking wild.
Yeah,
and
Uncle Tom dressing up and sneaking in to scare the kids. Oh my God, it's Santa! Like,
I mean, so yeah, the trust is my biggest thing, and me and her, we have a foundation of trust, and I would never want to shatter that or weaken that foundation with any lie, any lie. My daughter's asked me hard questions.
Yeah.
That I don't want to answer. She's asked me if I've been to jail. She's asked me if I've done drugs. She's 8 years old. You think I want to tell her these things?
Definitely not.
No, but guess what? I did, and I explained it to her, and you know what I mean? I very clear to her about why I ended up in those situations, why I was misguided, lack of leadership. I was like, you don't have that. I've created something for you I never had. Mm-hmm. It's like you have really all the tools to not have to go through the mistakes that I did when it comes to that.
That's exactly that. The whole point of being honest like that is then instead of just hoping that she doesn't make mistakes, you can tell her, hey, these things happen. This is what happened to me. I didn't like it. This is what it did to me. You know, this is how it affects me today. Those kind of things can be put into her mind, and then she probably never even has to make that mistake, you know?
Hopefully, yeah.
If she holds on to it, which if she values your trust, she will.
Exactly.
If you're not lying to her about silly things, bad things, good things, whatever, then she at least knows what you're saying is true. And she will think about it.
And you can tell me personally, my daughter, her eyes, she does value my trust. When I speak to her, like have serious talk with her, her eyes are fucking like locked on me, dude.
Yeah,
and not
I've seen
just
it.
not just staring at me with interest, like she's
read it.
she is with me and she's listening to me and she's taking it in and she's not taking it lightly. She's like, oh shit, he's telling me something right now that's probably, and I'll make it clear. I'm like, I've said this many times. I'm like, Malia, I'm about to tell you something that you should remember for the rest of your life. So let's slow this down and listen to what I'm going to tell you right now. I do that all the time, dude.
Yeah.
All the time. I know for sure she's going to remember me doing that because I made it a point to say, hey, this is something you need to remember for the rest of your life. Even if it doesn't make sense right now, you will remember what I'm talking about and it's going to click in time. She's going to remember these moments.
One day it'll be
She's going to remember all these moments I've done that because I do that very frequently. I'm like, you know, when the radio's going or we're driving or whatever, and I'm like, hold on, Malia, slow. Let's stop for a second. I'm about to tell you something real serious right now that you need to know. Yeah. So
the consistency of that will at least be something she remembers.
But I love that look on her. Her eyes is just like, she's just like totally taking it in. Like she knows that this is something she needs to absorb and retain.
I get little tastes of that with my daughter. I mean, being only 10 months, she's not able to process things that well mentally yet. But I can tell when she is trying to figure something out, whether it's how to get to another spot in the room or how to pick something up or get it out of here. I just look in her face and I can see her brain moving and cogs turning and she's looking around and then she even looks at me sometimes and I can like hear her talking to me without saying anything, you know?
Yeah.
Those moments are pretty sweet.
I love that. Yeah. It's speaking without speaking, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
I can't wait to have those moments with my daughter where I can just say, hey, you know, this is how it is. It's my experience, you know, like you need to remember these things type of shit. And luckily I have a good woman who totally is on that same page and wants to really just set our daughter up for a successful life.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's a good family foundation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I envy that, man. Like I said, it's gonna be a while until I can find somebody that there's a good support system like that and values the things I value and things like that.
But the way that you do live your life and the openness that you have about your beliefs and your character, it might mean that it takes longer to find this person, but that's just because you don't have to waste time with all these other people who don't know what the fuck they want.
I value quality.
Yeah.
Not quantity.
The woman that is going to be your woman is going to pop up and she's going to be on that fucking same page. She's going to look you straight in the eyes and she's going to be in the conversation, you know?
Yeah.
That'll probably be your first sign. It won't just be, hey, you know, sizing you up and down like, oh, I like his hair, you know? Oh, cute, this and that, you know? It's going to be more like what you would do, you know?
Yeah. I hope you're right, man. It's half the reason why, I just... there's tons of women out there that look good and all that, but their brains don't look good to me.
No.
Their mentality.
That was the big thing with my wife. Obviously, first thing I saw her, it was strictly physical. I was like, whoa, she is a good looking woman and I want to get to know her. And as I got to know her,
I want to bed her.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's funny.
It turns into something different after you start to get to know somebody. It's when I started to realize, okay, she's not just cute. She thinks the way I think, you know, she's funny. She, you know, for me with her, with my relationship in particular, she's just extremely supportive of the passions and stuff. Nice. I told her I skated and the first thing she said was, show me, you know, shit like that. And I'm like, okay,
put you on the spot, dude.
Actually, I
don't have my board on me. Like,
I was like, fuck it. All right, let's go to the skate park, you know, and
that's fucking awesome, dude.
I even told her, I was like, I'm trying to show off. And she's like, well, go, you know, show off. What do you got? You know?
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, prove it.
Yeah, you know, when it clicks, you click with somebody. Mm-hmm. Just to get caught up with Jim really quick here. Yeah, sorry, I got, you were saying a lot of people do not do things like that, Ben. That's awesome. You went through that in your 30s and 40s as well. Self-improvement.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. I really, that's where I'm at. I'm 37, so that's being an awesome dad, quality time with your daughter. I think he was referring to you when you were talking about that. We both really talking about that. your parents never told you anything about Santa Claus or not, and you were poor, or they were poor, you figured it out by yourself about 5 or 6. Well, that's a good approach too.
Yeah.
It's better than being lied to. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Lies are hard to remember, right?
The truth
is the truth.
Yeah.
Once trust is broken, it's broken. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And when you keep it I love simple statements like that. Just, you know what I mean? And that's a great way to put it. Just plain as day is exactly true. That's truthful right there.
And yeah, it may be overlooked because of its simplicity, but sometimes you only need a few words to really spit it out how it is. I mean, like you said, when the truth is broken, it's broken. No matter what happens, if somebody has broken trust with you before, you always have that little piece in your mind wondering, they did it once, can they do it again? Mm-hmm. And if you know if they did it once, they can do it again.
Exactly.
And then it just escalates until you're paranoid about it.
If you have any fracture in that trust, it's being observed at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There should be an undeniable certainty when you have if you want a relationship with someone, like a solid trust foundation. It should be undeniable. Like, this person would never lie to me. This person I can trust this person. You know what I mean? And that's very important for kids. You know, they need someone I didn't have guidance. So coming from someone who was all fucked up, you know what I mean? Like, no guidance, which is why I was on drugs and I made the poor decisions I did and told my daughter all those things, is because I didn't have any guidance. You know what I mean? Like, if I had someone there that I could trust and be a good foundation and support system there, I would have made better choices.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it is very important at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're dude, real quick, I want to before we get out of here, we were supposed to review.
Right.
Damn it, and I wanted you to read your lyrics. I don't think we're gonna get to it though, man, because one thing they do is cut off
at what, 2 hours?
2 hours, the Spotify gets cut off. Well, we started at 9:20. We got a little time. Let's squeeze it in there.
Yeah,
real quick here. So Snakes had me review a rapper whose name was K Rhino. I reviewed a song. K Rhino, sorry. Rhino sounds cooler.
I know, right?
K Rhino sounds cool, man. K Rhino. I reviewed a song called Annihilation of the Evil Machine. This was referenced by Snakes here, and I thought it was really good, man. Just getting right out to it. The fucking lyrics. Very thought-provoking, very profound. It's just taking you on a journey. And music is very subjective, and you can kind of turn it into perceive it the way you want to. But man, a lot of what he was saying on those lyrics was relative to a lot of things happening right now, or it could be.
Yeah.
At least I was imagining. You know, he's talking about propaganda and this machine, basically media machine controlling everybody. You know what I mean? And you know how he broke it down in a bunch of different screens, and then he said, you know what I mean? And like just a fucking, he's talking about making that gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, go make this gun, whatever it's called. And he was like, what the fuck is that? He's like, I don't know, I just made it up. Just go do it.
Yeah.
It totally reminded me of the vaccine and shit.
Yeah.
And then they came back with it, and you know, he's like, I haven't even tested it. Let's just do it. And I was like, wow, dude, it's like reminds me of the vaccine. So it was really just taking me on a journey. And so I love rap. It's like that. You already know I'm very picky with my rap.
Yeah.
Like, it has to have some, first of all, it has to flow. And then it's got to have some substance to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Substance. And then on top of that, what really makes it creative is if you can actually like have cool vocal patterns on top of that. But really it's the substance and the delivery. Mm-hmm. You know, delivery is big for me.
Yeah, I agree. I really wanted you to review that song because I knew for what you like, it would sort of fit in the boundaries because it's, you know, it's not really, that song's not about the style, it's not about the speed, it's literally just about the story.
A lot of big words though being flowed in really well.
Yeah,
so
he has those sentences where it's 10 words and 8 of them rhyme. You know what I mean? That kind of shit I think is...
It took time to make that song, I could tell.
Yeah, and a 7-minute song, like...
You know, when you see something someone's done, built, heard, and you're just like, dang, dude, that took a long time, and you just respect it automatically, even if you're not into it. Yeah. You just know that whatever that is, that took a year or 2 years or 5 years or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, I respect the shit out of that, dude.
Absolutely, yeah. I can respect anybody's hard work when it comes to something they love, but
Absolutely.
I figured you'd like that. So
I did, man. I enjoyed it. Yeah, absolutely. Did you actually listen to that review?
Yep.
Sweet, dude. What did you think?
So I was asked to review a freestyle on Sway in the Morning, Shade 45 by Mr. Locksmith.
Shady 45.
So
Dan
Shade
the Locksmith,
45
yeah.
is really sick. Actually, they do that show where they bring people on and they just put a track on and they say, "Go! If you're a
love
rapper,
that, dude.
fucking rap."
I love freestyles like that.
And so Locksmith is actually a rapper that I could be wrong, but early on, like I'm talking like maybe even 8-9 years ago when I first started my Facebook, I'm pretty sure I got a direct message from him saying, "Hey man, check out my music."
Oh, really?
He was doing that shit, yeah.
Dude,
and he wasn't very big yet.
That's hard work.
Yeah. And so
that's cool, dude.
Kind of had a little bit of an understanding of what he was about, but I'd never really listened to his music.
That's a long time ago.
So yeah, I mean, now after hearing his freestyle, definitely his quick-witted thinking and not even just being able to spit something out that rhymes quickly, but to play on a subject and to like stay within these walls of a conversation over and over, but still rhyming and having flow. And he may not have necessarily switched his flow a lot, but with freestyling, I feel like it's one of those things.
It's a little bit harder, yeah.
It is harder, because you have your comfortable thing, and that's how you get through it. Is you do what's comfortable and you spit, And I don't know. The thing that impressed me was his longevity.
His wordplay for me too, yeah.
Yeah, and the wordplay. I mean, just going for like 5 minutes over a beat, and then the beat ends because they don't normally have people go that long on it.
Yeah, they'll switch it up.
He starts another one.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I really respected that. And as a person who tries to freestyle a lot, I'm okay at it. Here and there, I can get some shit. But I really struggle with the, saying wordplay things and saying things that really make sense. I can just make rhyming shit,
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I got. So I really respected it from that viewpoint. And yeah, just, I don't know. I've always been intrigued by people being able to come up with words to think of the next line while you're saying one,
Yeah, it takes talent, man.
Yeah.
It's a brain talent, and there's technique to that. And it's another level, man.
Yeah, I think he's definitely on another level, probably amongst some of the best freestylers out
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
When I first heard him, I listened to those words, and a lot of it was relevant to current times even.
Yeah.
He talks about shit like that too, social media and politics, and like
he
puts
didn't
that
repeat himself.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't think there was one time where he reused a line or jumped back, because you'll notice a lot of rappers, for example, Logic.
He uses big words too.
Yeah, and like, a lot of rappers, though, they recycle. Logic, like, for example, he has the LOGIC, it's me. He says that almost in every freestyle he does multiple times. Because that's just one of those things that if he doesn't know what to say, he goes to it. But this dude had the motherfucking chops to just keep going and going and going and going and going and not saying the same shit. And I've always really liked that, because even I do that when I try to freestyle.
Yeah.
I get stumbled up and I go back to it, and some of my favorite rappers do that too, but some people are naturally gifted and can keep it going without recycling shit. So
good night, Jim. Thanks for joining, man. We'll catch you next time.
Take it easy, Jim.
Yeah, dude. I thought you'd appreciate that too. I always get a kick, dude, when he fucking spits out that line. I mean, there's so many good lines in there, dude. But he was like, the corner to the corner store, it's Corsuon. And fucking Fat Joe just loses it, dude. He just fucking dies, dude. Oh my god, dude. He's
that
just
kind
got some
of shit. Like, you wouldn't even say that sentence thinking about it for a few minutes before,
I know.
Like
how are you coming up with that off the top of your head? Yeah.
Mad respect, dude. I love it. That Shade 45, Sway in the Morning. If you guys like freestyling and shit, check it out. They're pretty well known, but in case you haven't heard, Shade 45, Sway in the Morning. Couple of guys bring rappers on and put them on the spot.
If you like freestyle talent, that's where the pinnacle of it is, man.
Yeah.
Like,
you can catch even modern rappers on there. Lil Dicky. Dude, Lil Dicky's got one where he spits for a while.
Nice.
Chris Webby is really sick. They even bring like Lil Yachty on there, but
they bring older guys like Method Man. They'll throw on some. Yeah, they like bringing in OGs too to freestyle.
I don't want to go on to it too hard, but it was Lil Yachty or one of those guys that came on there, and they would play a beat, and he would say, "Nah, fuck that. That's that old school shit. I don't want that. Give me something relevant," And he kept making up excuses, and then he would start rapping and then be like, no, fuck that. And it's like, dude.
Oh, I think I know who you were talking about.
I think it was Lil Yachty.
Oh, okay.
It's, whatever. Dude,
another person that ripped it up, dude, was Token. I remember showing him. Token fucking nailed it.
He's
on
got songs with
45.
Tech now and shit.
Yeah, very another level. He's up there on another level, too.
Oh, yeah. Respect the fuck out of that shit for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. I think what anything else to quickly brush through? Man, I wish I don't think we have time to read your lyrics, man. That makes me sad, dude.
No,
I wanted people to hear them actually, but
I mean, I could try to go through them fast, but I don't know if they
give us a taste. Give us a taste.
All right, I'll spin it.
Give us a little taste, man. Let us wet our whistle on this.
Well, while I'm pulling this up, our guitar player Sean brought up the idea because I've been having writer's block and we have some new material that I could be writing for. Typically what I do is I figure out the whole song, memorize it, and then I lay down the lyrics and I write it out according to the syllable placement and everything. But what I'm struggling with is just, I don't know, I can't think of things that I want to write about. So Sean said, dude, just sit down and fucking write. Don't think about context of the song, just write. And so I kind of did that, and here's what I came up with. Speeding fast towards a planet of water and soil is a large mass of unknown origins, stricken ablaze by its unfathomable velocity as it passes through this planet's atmosphere. Unwittingly dwelling were those below in a state of endless peace and great promise for a bountiful future. That which soared through the sky at ungodly speeds contained a condemnation on all of existence, a horrible and empty shell that is to be all that remains following the nature of this strange and foreign entity. As the mass struck the dirt-covered surface of this new land, a massive crater was forced into the countryside, creating a devastating shockwave, destroying all in its vicinity. Not a tree nor a single blade of grass would survive as the earth was so violently impacted. The condemnation that followed lay not in the impact of the mass, yet the microscopic passenger trapped within this strange large mass from an unknown world. This parasite, invisible to man and all that inherit the earth, need only one host to infect every single living organism on the planet and drive them into complete obliteration. As the smoke and dust cleared from the unforgiving impact, a small particle would arise from the wreckage and be swept away in a gentle gust of wind passing through the countryside. Gently, the doom of all life was carried to a small village where a man was building fire. As the man inhaled to fuel his fire with oxygen, he would intake the end of a once promising world. Flawlessly navigating the man's nasal cavity, the particle is led to a large empty space protected by thick bone and tissue. The parasite sheds its protective cover to begin feeding on its host. The host, all the while never knowing or feeling its presence, continues to hunt, farm, and provide for his family. His family infected merely moments after being greeted by him, living their lives and passing on this once foreign, now domestic threat to mankind, to their children, for the years to come. Many generations later, the infection has reached every single living person and animal, every breath, movement, thought, and feeling being dictated by one single mass of gray matter, merely a fraction of the size of its host. Since the time of the very first contact the virus made with the species, it had grown and attached itself to all major organs and systems which operated the physical and cognitive functions of the species. A creature once of love, kindness, and compassion, now driven by greed, hatred, and desire. The parasite created emotions that drove the beings to destroy one another and brought endless war. Suffering, loss, and destruction become a standard of this world as humans build stronger and more powerful weapons bent on domination, only to eventually rid the entire surface of the earth of all biology, leaving a ghost of a former luscious and colorful landscape. Never to truly know the reality of their sad existence and shallow lives. The undying loyalty to those who oppressed them and forced them to live in the shadows as the elites flourished in wealth and physical longevity. Small lives and meaningless existences overwhelmed the few thousand years as the parasites thrived in complete control and aware of their own instinctual drive for annihilation. Pitting the pawns against the pawns and growing richer as they murder one another over unhinged emotions and unstable infections. Starting wars and building machines to increase the body counts. Floating silently in space is a once fruitful world of life and light, now nothing but a dim wasteland, a void, a shell, a ghost with no past and no future left to fade in time.
Nice, dude.
That's a mouthful. That was written while I was sleep deprived and out of my mind last night. Super tired, just writing. And to be honest, I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. I feel like
That's a fucking
there's
movie
a
script.
story there. Yeah, like I can think about it and visualize these things. And after reading it to you and getting your feedback, I feel like I accomplished that goal. So
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Great work. And yeah, that's how songs are made, man. That's how lyrics are made. That's how stories are made.
yeah.
And that's how movies are written. I mean,
Yeah.
so
And I feel like our music is too technical and too in-depth for the lyrics just to be, murder, kill, rape, whatever, all this shit that is horrible about metal, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't want to be generic. And I don't think our music is, so why would I put generic lyrics on it,
Yeah, I value those complex lyrics, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's you can follow that. It's not, you're using big words sometimes, but it's easy to follow. The journey it is easy to follow.
Yeah, I try to have a blend of shit that is challenging as far as vocabulary, but also, just being relative to normal conversation that you have.
Yeah.
Saying things like, it was carried by a gust of wind over here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the imagery on that is fucking heavy, man.
Mm.
I value that stuff, so.
Hell yeah,
So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing some of that. Like I said, if you like those type of lyrics, and if you like metal, Snakes is in Primordial Atrocity with me. So give us a follow, peep it out, spread the love, see if it's something you're interested in as well.
Yeah.
I think we're wrapping it up though. It's too much to talk about. We gotta nip it in the butt, man.
Yep. We'll close her off.
But it's been fantastic talking to you, man. Like I said, we always have good talks and shit, and I appreciate you coming back on and making the time too. I know you got family and shit.
Yeah,
so.
I love it. I love being a part of it. I am always willing to come back. If people want to hear what I have to say, then I'd love to share. And hell, if we did the last episode different, we did this one a little different, maybe the next one we'll do something new.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I'm open for new things, you know me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man.
So what's the exiting saying here? You guys got?
It was good to have you on, and we'll have you back on and just kind of keep you as a regular man, because I enjoy checking up on you, and I think people might enjoy listening to you as well, because I don't really have, at least on my podcast, you're the only metal vocalist or any vocalist.
It's true.
Well, no, I have Brando. He did some acoustic too now, so
that's true.
That was pretty cool.
See, I might have to do a guttural or something.
I think we're gonna get Sam Haglund from No Living Witness on here on an episode too, so that'll be cool.
Some of our CDs and shit.
Yeah, super cool dude, man. So I'm looking forward to that too. But yeah, man, that's it, dude. We're like us and follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. Like us, subscribe to us, share the page, help us with the momentum. Like I said, this is a journey I'm taking as far as I can, and so just to have some meaningful conversations and hopefully contribute something to people. So
right.
But yeah, that's it for today. We'll see you on episode 52 next Saturday. Until then, have a fantastic week and keep it viral.
Keep it contagious.
Nice. Later, guys. Nice.
There it is. It's proof.